Hey, this is Rich over at TVP Live with another quick tips tutorial brought to you by Adobe Photoshop Elements Independent Tutorial Group. And let's jump right into this session. And today we're going to talk about the magic tool and cutting out objects. So in this picture here, we have two different objects, and we want to show you what the magic tool here is good for and what it's not good for. Okay, so the object on the right is a very solid dark color contrast with its white background, and this makes it good for the magic tool. This left object here, the white is not so white, and as you can see, there's a little bit of a drop shadow or shadow underneath here at the bottom, and that's not going to pick up very well with the magic tool. And up here you can see where this reflection on these brackets here up towards the edge here is closer to the same color as the background, which means that when we try using the magic tool, it's going to keep on trying to grab these portions too. So this picture on the left is not so good for the magic tool. That's when you have to physically cut out the object piece by piece, or a mixture of the magic tool and what I just told you. Let's try the right one and show you how that works. We'll start by selecting this image, and because the contrast of the brown and the white is so different, we can grab the magic tool, and the higher the tolerance here is, the more it's going to grab. Like if we can probably do 100% grab like this and not have to worry about it cutting into the actual object. So when I hit delete, the delete button, you'll see that the white was completely cut out, leaving all of the object. I'm going to hit Control D to get rid of my outline and clean it up, and look at that. The edges are nice and perfect. This is exactly how we want it to be. You don't see any scragglers or any part of bleeding from the grab. So that 100% was a good choice. You see, if you zoom in, you see a little bit of the color from the white bleeding through, but not enough for it to really make a difference on your object. So now you could save this as a PNG or use it to make drop shadows and stuff on it. Now let's jump over to this object here. Now on this object we got a different issue, is because the white was, even though it's high contrasty, the white's a little off-white, and I'm going to have problems grabbing. So if I grab the magic tool at 100% again, watch what happens. If I hit delete, it deletes the whole section up here, these lines up here of the metal, because that metal was too close to the color of the background. That's not good. Let me undo that. Let's try to lessen this tolerance of the magic tool from 100 to 50%. Okay, let's try to grab this white again. And what happens once again? We lost a lot of the top portions of this plant potter. The whole metal brackets here got deleted. That's at 50%. And once again, let's try to do that at half of that, at 25%, and grab it again. Ready? Grab. And now we hit delete, and that came out a lot better. The only problem is if we're going to have a different color background, as we zoom in, we're going to see there's a white edge. See that along this whole edge here? And as we scroll down, there's going to be a lot of fixing that needs to be done. This is not a clean grab at 25% of tolerance. So this is like going to really be iffy if we can use this. In this case, what I would do is I would physically grab an eraser and zoom into the portions that are having problems, and then choose a brush here, a small, like, I don't know, 7-point, and carefully cut it out. And we're talking about the portions of the object that are having the problems. And then we could use the magic tool for the rest of the object. So I cut that portion out. I'm going to go down here. Wherever we see, you see there's this shadows, these dark shadows here. That's the portions that we need to cut out. You don't have to do the whole thing, as long as you get every portion of the part that needs it. Way up at the top, there was this whole edge here, so we're going to erase it all the way from, I think, from around here. And this way I can leave a little bit of the white that would naturally be there as a reflection on the metal. See how this pops up a little bit? Because it really would pop up. I'll zoom in so you can see what I'm doing here. I come up and then come back down. It's these little nuances that mean the difference between a good edit and a bad edit on a photograph. Because somebody might say, you know what, just cut all this out. But guess what? You just lost the lip here that is naturally really there. So I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to cut this out, and then bring it up, and then bring it across, and then bring it back down, because that's how the actual table works. And anything else would be considered cheating. And of course, you are allowed to cheat a little bit if there's a reason for it. But if you want true art and accuracy of an object, then you have to leave some of this white here, because that would be a natural portion of the reflection of the object. Okay, so now we got the portions that are really important that we don't want to lose. We erase those portions. Now that we got all the portions that have a lighter in the object, now I can go to my magic tool and let's do, I don't know, let's say 35% tolerance, and then click it in here. I can zoom in to see what it grabbed, and you can see this time it didn't grab any of the top. It went along my edge that I added to it. So that looks good. I'm gonna scroll down to the bottom. You can see it went all the way around everything. There's a little bit here that I'm going to have to fix. And everything over here is exactly the way we wanted it. I'm going to zoom out. So 35 tolerance is perfect. And I will center this. I will hit the delete button. Boom. And now we got us. And let's do a Control D to get rid of our line. And the only fixing we have is, and I can just grab a polygon and just cut these things out. These little tiny portions. Boom, gone. Move over here. There's this little one down here. Boom, boom, boom. Gone. And there's one more over here. And that's pretty much it. So now all we have to do is grab these portions up here, and let's see if 30% works for us. See, it doesn't, because if I hit delete, you're going to see it cuts across the metal here. So 30% didn't work. So let me undo that and get rid of that. Let's try this at 25% tolerance. Try the same thing. We can zoom in, and you can see that there's these white pieces, and it's all kind of scraggly. So up here, we're going to have to do this by hand. We'll take the eraser. We can use the Polygon tool for this because it's not too much to work with, and cut into the metal a little bit. It's supposed to be sharp, so it should be okay. If you cut into the metal, you're not going to see the white bleed. And I'll hit delete, and there we go. And you see how much cleaner that is from using the magic tool. I'm going to come down to the next one here. And I'm making sure to stay out of the white as much as possible. And this is where you can cheat a little bit, because that little bit of metal that you're cutting out, boom, is not going to be enough to really change the photograph. So I'm going to cut into the black a little bit, and then cut into the gray. Don't think of it as metal brackets, portions of the object. Think of it as colors, the difference in colors. Gray, dark gray, gray, light gray, to white. See that? Boom. And there we go. We got our object cut out. It looks great. Both of them are cut out, but you see the difference between what it takes to how much easier it is to work with this. That's one solid color almost, or at least a contrast between that and the background. And this one took a little bit more work. We got the same effect done, and they both look good. But you need to use the magic tool in some instances, and other instances you need to use the eraser for portions that of the foreground that match the background in tolerance, as far as tolerance is concerned, contrast. And then after that, you want to use the Polygon tool or the eraser to get rid of little portions that you need. That's it for this quick tutorial session, and stay tuned for the next one on drop shadows. This is Rich calling it quits, saying over and out.